In my previous 3 videos, I described the conventional model of 3-act structure. That's the structure you typically find in the plot-driven films that leads to an accomplishment such as unraveling a mystery, solving a problem, triumphing over an enemy. This structure is a perfect model for building tension towards a climactic ending. However, in stories that also have an internal conflict in the main character that ultimately gets resolved in a transformation, I've found that there's another structure at work. In this character-driven model, the structural markers of the 3 acts have even more specific functions. This is because, to give credibility to a character's internal change, it must be motivated in small steps over time, since, as we all know, human beings are highly resistant to change. It is the structural transitions in the first and second acts that serve to incrementally progress and thus give support to the main character's ultimate transformation in the third act. Of course, it is also fundamental to human nature that for an individual to undergo internal change, there must be intense external pressure bearing down on them. Therefore, the best character transformation stories are both plot and character-driven, in which case the character transitions function in concert with the plot transitions. Here's how they work together. The setup of the story is largely the same in the plot and character structures. You introduce characters, give background exposition, and establish the world of the story. You show us what normal is for that main character. Then comes the point of attack, also called the inciting incident. As in the plot-driven story, it's an external event that begins the story we've been brought in to see. But for character purposes, this external event has the added effect of presenting a serious challenge to the main character's bedrock assumptions about life. We all live with assumptions, like that when we wake up in the morning, our spouse will still be there, or when we get to work, we'll still have a job. But let's say one day you learn that despite all your good work and accolades from your boss, you've been downsized out of the company. This presents a challenge to your assumption that if you follow the rules and please others, you'll be safe from the axe. At first, you feel like it's the end of the world, but you pull yourself together and start looking for a job. As you go about the external work of job hunting, you also have to confront your internal obstacles that prevent you from taking risks to get what you want. Finally, you work through your internal as well as external obstacles, and in the end, you come out with a new job with better pay and nicer people. You now have a new set of assumptions. No matter how good you are, you can lose your job at any time. But you will survive and possibly be better off for it. This example is a generic story. It could happen to anyone. Good drama is when a specific character is challenged in a very individual way. I know this is all very abstract, and of course there's no substitute for concrete examples. You can see an excellent example in my screen book analyzing Thelma and Louise. This will show you exactly how each structural point works by itself and in relation to the whole, to give you a more solid understanding of these abstract concepts. You can get that analysis by going to screentakes.com/screenbooks, or clicking on the link in the description below. So while in the plot story, the point of attack is an external event that demands external action, in the character story, the nature of that external event is such that the main character will have to undergo an internal shift in the course of the story in order to achieve the needed external solution to the problem. What this means is that the end of the first act is not only the moment that launches a journey or establishes a goal for the second act. In character terms, it is also highly significant for being the first proactive thing that the main character does. I am continually surprised with each new film I analyzed at the consistency with which the first act comes to a close. As I search for an event 25 to 30 minutes into the film that launches the second act, there it is again. I will find a moment when the main character very deliberately either makes a decision or chooses a course of action that is outside their normal mode of behavior and that then provides the focus for the second act. They are already starting to stretch a little bit towards their transformation. How to use the second act to make the transformation credible in incremental stages will be the subject of my next video. So be sure to subscribe so you'll be notified when my next video is posted. Or go to screentakes.com/screenbooks to see a concrete example of how character transformation structure works.